What's up, guys? Welcome back to Kind of Funny's MCU in Review. I'm Tim Gettys. This is Andy Cortez. That's Kevin Coelho. That's Greg Miller. That over there is the producer / seducer, Nick Scarpino.
Top of the morning.
Today we are reviewing...
Top of the morning to you.
Black
10
Panther.
o'clock p.m. on a Thursday night.
Morning somewhere, man.
Decaf coffee time, bro.
Nick's got
Morning
one
somewhere.
speed now, and it's the morning show he hosts. That's it.
Good at it.
I'm good at it.
Normally, every Tuesday at 9 a.m. on youtube.com/kindoffunny and podcast services around the globe, we come at you with a review of every single MCU movie week by week leading into Avengers Infinity War.
Right.
But Black Panther came out, threw everything off. So what we're doing is this one's going up. We just did Iron Man 3 a couple days ago, so you can find that on youtube.com/kindoffunny. But now this one's going up now on this beautiful Thursday night. There will not be an episode next week, and then we'll catch up.
And your
the
idea is
following
you want to let this one, as it's the new one, have time to breathe, which I
Exactly.
appreciate.
Give it a little bit more breath. Have people, be able to watch the movie and at their leisure and
Because
not feel pressured.
this is a combo pack in a lot of ways. This is, of course, Kind of Funny's MCU in review for Black Panther, but it's also our reacts to Black Panther like we normally would do for
So what we're
superhero.
going to do, because things are a little bit different, is we're going to do the normal spoiler-free review of the Black Panther.
Sure.
And then
The Black Panther.
and then jump into the spoiler-filled thing with some whatever fun facts we have.
Sure.
And then at the end, we'll do the ranking like we've been doing in MCU in review. The problem is we don't have a lot of the information. We don't know the box office. We don't
Sure.
know the budget. We don't know all that stuff yet.
All the fun facts.
All the fun facts.
I can still do the 10-minute plot. Let me tell you about this cat named the Black Panther.
Right.
All right?
Good one. You just wanted to
We
say
should probably
that.
do that in the spoiler section, correct?
In the
was a
fun
joke.
fact
It was a
section,
joke.
Panthers actually have 6 arms. You just
Six
can't see the
arms.
other two.
Yeah, the 6-armed Panther.
Fun fact, man.
Low, they're all arms, too, not legs.
Do they also need their
all
tail
arms.
for speed?
No, they don't. No, only cheetahs.
Only cheetahs.
So the-
Cheetahs
see
are
what
a
you're
great
saying.
animal. We're getting into this the right way. Spoiler-free review. What do we think of the Black Panther?
I thought it was a very, very good movie.
I concur.
Yeah, I don't think it's what I expected it to be.
What did you expect?
Well, just based on the reviews,
Sure.
it seemed like this was the next coming of Jesus Christ himself.
Yeah. A lot of people said that.
I thought it was very, very good. I'm not gonna try to water this down and say that like I didn't like it. I think it's one of the top Marvel movies for sure.
Really?
Wow.
Okay.
I think in what it didn't have in as far as like it wasn't fast hitting dialogue and a bunch of witty lines, but I think what it made up for is that this movie didn't really. This feels like they were trying to make something more than a superhero movie.
Sure.
I didn't. This felt more like there was more thought put into the score and into the dynamic between some of the characters. This felt like they were trying to make something bigger, and that's why I really enjoyed it. Because obviously we walked out of Thor Ragnarok, and that movie's still on my mind, and that was like, wow, what a fucking funny and an absolute blast of a time. This movie, when this movie ended, I thought, man, that's a well-made film. And they really tried to do something more than just, in my opinion, superheroes blowing shit up. I feel like there was something deeper there.
See, I felt like I thought Black Panther is a good movie. I'm not blown away. And this is always the problem when reviews get out super early, where it is like, especially if it's going to be really good or really bad, it sets your expectation. I think I came in with not knowing the character, not really after even Civil War knowing much about him, right? I came in expecting to be like, oh man, this is going to be a slam dunk. I'm going to love it, especially based on the reviews. And I left it being like, yeah, that was a good movie. And I think what you're talking about is true, that all the parts I liked a lot. I did like the score a lot. I did like the visuals a lot. Like Wakanda's beautiful. They played with color in a really interesting, awesome way. I love the purple and black throughout, right? Certain performances I thought were amazing, but then there was other performances that I didn't like at all, and that so it was like seesaw balancing act. And I really, really dig the motivation of what I'll call the multi-generational two villains, and just leave it at that, since we're not in spoilers. Love their motivation and love the power behind that, and really wish they would have leaned in and done more with that. I think putting it out there was awesome, and there was a moment we'll talk about in spoilers where I was like, oh, here's where we're gonna ramp it up and I'm gonna be with you the entire ride, and it just didn't happen that way. So it was this constant seesawing of like, oh, that's really good, I don't like that much. Okay. And so it like leaves me in this weird spot of like, I like it, but I didn't love it.
I'm right there with you, and I feel like I disagree about it being like a very well-made movie. I feel like as a movie, it had a lot of issues, and I feel like it was because at the end of the day, it was a superhero movie, and I feel like they couldn't get away from that. So the moment I loved all the stuff they were doing with the themes and why all the bad guys' motivations I thought were great, probably stronger than any bad guy in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
We'll say that for
I can
Raggy
think
Don't
of.
worry about it.
But I enjoyed that. It really pushed the plot. There was a lot of moments that I'm like, who's the good guy? Who's
Yeah.
the bad guy? What's
Yeah,
going
yeah.
on? And that's great. I loved what
Blurring
they
those
did.
lines is really like incredible for me. I love that.
And I really like how they handled Wakanda, not necessarily visually. Like I thought that was fine. Nick and I were talking about it after
Yeah.
the movie, where it's like it didn't feel like this world that we'd never seen before.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like, it's cool. But I did really like the world of the characters in it. So not necessarily the look, but all the different tribes and the different rituals that they have and all that. I was like, they made me care about the world of Wakanda way more than something like Thor did with Asgard.
What do you
or-
mean you didn't feel like it's something you'd never seen before?
Like it didn't feel like it transported me to a different world.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. There was a point in this movie, and I think it might have been, this isn't spoilers, when they jumped to South Korea, where I was like, man, hats off to Marvel for the way they are exploring every inch of this universe. And for Wakanda, I did feel like it was a different place, especially.
Yeah, I did too.
And this isn't again spoilers if you've seen Civil War, right? Coming into like the dome that's protecting it or whatever. When you come in there, I did have that moment like, whoa,
Yeah.
this is really cool
Yeah.
and different.
There-
and then like, that's spoiler.
There is a line where he says, and this never gets old, when he's coming back
Right,
into
right,
Wakanda.
right, right.
And I had that same feeling.
Yeah.
Like I got chills, and I was like almost like kind of teary-eyed just because this whole universe is cool, and
Yeah,
it's so
yeah.
awesome that we're getting to witness all this.
Well-
And as they flew in, I was like, this is fucking cool.
I also thought it was really like that moment where it's like, look at the reveal, and then also when they're just hanging out, exploring, like walking around the city, and then also there's the other city that they go to, like
In the snow?
yeah.
They explore.
Well,
There's a
I'm
lot
not
of
saying anything else.
There's a lot of lands
Yeah.
in
But, like,
in the
that had
Wakandan
its own
kingdom.
feel.
Yeah, that was cool.
Very dynamic,
And
yeah.
the set design was stunning in that, specifically that scene.
Costume design. in
Nick,
Nick, did you like this movie?
I liked the movie. I liked that they were able to like combine a lot of the cultural elements with the tech. I thought that felt really, really cool. It was interesting to see, and there was a lot in this that we have not seen in a Marvel movie prior. Right? There was a lot of the nuances of the different tribes within Wakanda. Like I just don't think. I mean, some of it was so. I'm trying to think of the right word for it. Like, it's just really cool to see that, and it's really cool that we're at a point where you can put that on screen and not have it feel like crazy out of place. And I thought they did a really good job. I thought Ryan Coogler did a really good job of balancing that and sort of trying to find that commonality there, which was cool. I was not blown away by Wakanda. Like, I liked it. I thought it was cool. I thought it's cool that you see this technologically advanced city. You see people that are like walking around into it, but you see all the mixture of cultures, right? You see all the mixture, rather, like throughout the ages of people who are like
Their history.
Yeah, their history, which I thought was pretty cool. You see the kids with backpacks, but you see the elders with more of the traditional African garb, which I thought was pretty cool. I was not. The thing is this: for me, I was really interested that with everything that had to do with the not character in the suit. Like, I liked all the politics. I liked the reasoning behind Michael B. Jordan's character and what he wanted to accomplish. And I wanted to see more of that. And I want to see kind of when the movie wraps up, I'm like, I want to see where this is going from a political standpoint. I just don't think, like, Black Panther is as exciting to me as Captain America in that he's not nearly as exciting as Iron Man. Sorry. Like, it's just, to me, watching him jump around in his limited way and not being able to fly and blast things is just, or be Thor with a hammer that can fly and strike lightning at people. You're just always going to feel like that character in the MCU to me is very limited as far as like comparing to everyone else, right? Like,
It's
to an
one of those-
Asgardian god.
And I think comparing that to, like, say, Iron Man, where Tony finds new tech and it's immediately implemented, and there's all these cool new weapons, and I get the same sort of vibe. I have the same sort of feelings towards Black Panther, where this is the most technologically advanced civilization. His younger sister is the smartest person in the MCU, and he's still got claws, like just little tiny claws. Like, there's
it's
well,
weird,
I think that
right?
he could be so much more weaponized.
I mean,
feel.
but that's the thing. Like, I don't think that like the king fights with those kind of weapons. Like he
Yeah,
fights with
sure.
his hands and stuff. Like,
You also
he's
get
not-
the sense that he's not like they're not waging war,
Yeah.
right? The suit
We
is
kept
not
saying that, yeah.
necessarily for him to go out there and kick
Sure,
ass.
yeah.
They are a peaceful nation, a technologically advanced nation, and one that's trying to just protect
Also,
themselves
like-
and their borders.
Bullets aren't hurting him. He doesn't have to be afraid of bullets. He doesn't have to come back and shoot people. He can just walk up to you while you're shooting him and just be like, no.
Although it does beg the question, you're like, yeah, you could give him like something that's a little bit more of a long range weapon,
Right.
And you'd be okay with it.
Maybe some rocket
But how
boosters.
intimidating-
Well, I mean,
is it to
that's
have
what
someone-
she had.
Yeah, we'll wait for that stuff. But overall, I think that it definitely was a good movie, and I there's nothing about it that I hated. You know,
Sure.
and that's not true about a lot of the other MCU movies.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there wasn't any single thing about it, with the exception of Michael B. Jordan. But in terms of like moments,
Yeah.
there was not a single moment I'm like, this is awesome. And that sucks when there was a lot of action scenes.
Okay.
I'm talking about action scenes.
Okay.
think there was
Again, I
some-
think we
yeah.
need. I think.
we can move on to spoilers.
Yeah, I think we should get into spoilers here. Yeah, because
Cool.
I think
Oh,
we're all
also-
saying interesting things, and so we've all said we like the movie.
Yep.
Yeah, I also really
Varying
liked it. I don't think I
degrees
said
of how
it.
much we liked it, but yeah.
Shout out to the soundtrack. Also,
Let's move to spoilers. We're in spoiler territory
So
now.
we can now spoil everything. If you don't want to have anything
Okay.
spoiled, turn it off. Remember, we will do the ranking for the MCU in review at the end of this. So that'll still be the part of the show. But this
we'll
will now
also
be
do the most important thing.
Ragu Bagu. This will now be like more of the traditional MCU review, correct? Or like, yeah, okay. So for me, the wow moment was, and we have the cast pulled up here because I'm sorry, I could not. This is definitely a movie.
a lot of
out.
characters.
Captions would have helped because I just don't know any of you, and you all have names
That's
that are
so
foreign to
funny.
me, and I'm trying to keep up. But Michonne from The Walking Dead, Danae, is that how we say it?
I would say
Danae.
Danae or Deny.
It's interesting that I've watched Walking Dead this long and I don't know how to
it's a
say her
touchscreen.
name.
Oh
It
my
is a
god! I was
touchscreen,
like,
yeah.
why is your computer freaking out?
No. In the casino or whatever, when she's like, I've been made, and like threw her hair and like had that whole, and then she jumped over and like then outside with her in the car. I was like, this is blasphemous, I know, to come from Greg Miller, but like for all the credit people were giving like the Amazons in Wonder Woman, this woman, like this character is like such in my head, what an Amazon warrior would have been
Yeah.
from that thing. I thought she was amazing. I thought she stole the show. I thought her action scenes were great.
There was
that
a
was
moment
choreography with
spear.
her,
Yeah.
it was on another
Stunning.
level compared to anything else in the movie. And that was the problem,
100%.
is every scene she fought in was
She stole the show.
awesome.
She stole the show.
So good. When you see Killmonger and Black Panther fighting, I was like,
Feels slow.
In
it
this
felt
giant
slow and
CG thing
weird.
of them falling fighting.
I liked when they were falling fighting. I liked that, but I didn't like what happened after that. Like when they had the episode 1 moment with the
Right,
train.
right,
Like,
right,
the
yeah.
first time they did it was cool. But then when they kept coming back to it,
It
I
was
was
the
like,
only
what's
way
the
that he could
payoff
weaken
to
the
this?
suit to get
It was
the
their way
blade
for
in.
exposition.
Yeah.
But I
God
do
forbid the sister built in a safety mechanism on that bad boy.
She knows it could
No
be
one else
abused.
can
She
use
can't
it.
have it.
in that whole final scene, there were plenty of moments where I thought, "Wow, this CG just doesn't look great."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where Black Panther's flying
suit-
around and doing different things, midair sort of twirls and
was
shit.
very
I was
video
like,
gamey.
yeah,
When-
this
when-
looks like a video game.
When
yeah.
we first see Black Panther and there's the convoy in the jungle that they're attacking, there's a scene. He's like very like shrouded in the
That was
jungle and
cool.
you can't really see
I
it.
thought that was cool.
That was cool, but there was a scene where like a gun flashes and you can see him on the truck. I thought that for that split second, that looked really like
Are we talking about that? Or are you talking about when they flashed the light up in the tree and he's there? Because that looked kind of bad too.
Yeah, that looked really
was a little
bad
weird.
too. Yeah,
But it's kind of
yeah.
The worst CG in the movie to me was the arm of Claw.
Yeah, that was
Like
bad.
it being not like the actual arm. It
The-
being
without
gone,
the arm,
the
yeah.
amputated arm.
Oh, that
I was
part?
like,
Really?
Oh, I didn't notice
They
that.
did pretty
I
good.
didn't notice
that was
that at all.
mustache levels to me, where I was just
Really?
like, I was so distracted by it. And I'm like, if the dude's missing an arm, I'm gonna look at it, and
Yeah.
I'm looking at it, and it doesn't look good.
Really?
It was-
I didn't-
I totally
that's-
did the opposite. I looked
Yeah.
at it, I'm like, oh, that actually looks believable. Back to the scene. Like I didn't get
It's
hung
one
up
of
I
those
on it.
didn't even
things,
notice
too.
that. I was just like, oh, he doesn't have his arm out.
Claw.
That makes sense.
Shout out to Andy Serkis, another great performance in this movie.
Really?
I think
I thought
He
it
was
was
fucking wild.
it might be the fact that
Wild
I
boy.
sat in the room and like talked to Andy Serkis, and I was like, I don't know how
He's
you can be
nothing like that,
intimidating.
yeah.
And then I was like, holy shit. This
Yeah.
guy's actually seems crazy,
He's
and
a
he's like loud,
psychopath.
and he looks big, and he looks gnarly. I was like, that's cool.
I also liked him.
He was good, but I feel like toward like with the end when you see him, he starts to become like ridiculous and a little over the top, and I was like, well, okay.
He's just
Or
this
too over the
wiggly
top,
little
not just a
fuck,
little.
you know?
Yeah.
Him being a little over the top is cool, but yeah, I feel like very quickly it turned. I was just
Where did you think it was too over the top?
probably the interrogation room.
Yeah.
From then on, I was just
Really?
like, yeah.
Because that seems
just seems like he
that's
lost
such
his
a
mind.
short
Fucking with the
part.
cops, though,
Yeah,
right? He's
yeah,
fucking
that's
with the
thing.
cops waiting to get
Like,
rescued.
Yeah, I know more than you do,
But it felt
but
like,
like I also know people.
Not to
are
mention
coming-
he immediately turns the CIA agent on fucking T'Challa.
Yeah.
Like he's got a lot of. Does he? I'll go check on that. Hey, do you
Oh,
really-
yeah.
so I went to the restroom during that
Sure you
scene.
did.
I
God,
got
why?
I got back and Andy Serkis and Michael B. Jordan are fighting, and Michael B. Jordan finally kills him.
Different part, but yeah.
What was immediately
like?
after, right?
Did he break out? What exactly
Yeah,
happened? He broke him out.
what's his face came and broke him out.
Killmonger.
Well, no, yeah, they broke him out of the jail. Yeah, I saw that.
Then
part.
they got to the plane, and he's like, I'll get your money, kid. You did good. He's like, I know I'll get my money. And he's like, where can I drop you? And he's like, Wakanda. And he's like, I'm not going. And then they start killing people.
Yeah,
And
which is weird.
He grabbed Michael B.
Michael G. Borden.
Michael B. Jordan's girlfriend and put a gun to her head.
Oh,
And
okay.
then Michael B. Jordan shot her and then chased down Serkis and killed him.
Oh,
Which
okay.
man, I feel like they set that girlfriend up and then immediately just was like, no, don't worry.
I
about
like
her.
that.
Yeah?
Again,
I was fine
I thought it
with that.
spoke to like the fucking
His
crazy ass
character,
motherfucker.
He had a
Michael
mission. He had a
G.
vision
Gordon
for
was.
what he was trying to do.
Do you know that the character's name is Eric Killmonger? I didn't realize that was his last name.
That's what it's listed as.
I
They,
don't
That
know
wasn't
was
his
name.
real name?
Yeah, they
They
didn't-
said
Oh, so they just
something
didn't
else.
say his
No, no,
real
yeah,
name?
yeah,
That's
yeah.
the
They
Nick.
called him the Killmonger.
They gave.
They did.
They did.
He had a
Yeah.
last
They
name that
said
wasn't
Eric
Oh,
Killmonger.
you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, I thought. I mean,
It's in this
again, a lot of those things were good, but I just felt like there's not a lot of standout moments here. And then when and if
man.
this is my big problem with a lot of the standalone MCU
Eric
movies
Stevens.
is that when they all end up fighting just the evil version of themselves, and it's just not that fun.
That
right?
and that was
Like,
the thing too of like, I think you and I had a conversation privately months ago when somebody put it up, and it was like, stop making Marvel villain, and it was like photos of them over fight evil versions of themselves, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh fuck, and then sure enough, like when he suited up, like, "Oof, all right, here we go.
And that was the thing when we saw Captain America Winter Soldier versus Captain America versus Winter Soldier in Captain America 3, right? Civil War, right? No, 2, Civil War.
2 was
No,
Winter
2
Soldier.
was Winter Soldier.
2, Winter Soldier. They at least had history, and you knew
Spoilers.
he didn't want to kill him. But then, so there was that conflict there. These two characters, very reminiscent of Tony, where it's just like
I feel-
Iron Man and a bigger Iron Man going against each other, and it's like, I don't
Well,
know.
see,
But I feel like these people had the most or not these. Eric had the most motivation.
I feel like he's one of the most fleshed out villains in the
Yeah,
universe.
exactly. Like
His
he really
motivations
made
made
sense.
me care
But
more,
not only
yeah.
that, like I also feel like him having a different version of the Black Panther suit also made sense.
Oh, it all
He
made
became
sense.
king, you know?
No. It made
Yeah.
sense
It made
why it
sense,
was
I
like
just
that. It
didn't
was
care.
But I mean, I feel like this made more sense than Obadiah Stane going
Yeah,
and making a
definitely.
giant suit and then wearing it. Like, why wouldn't he?
I don't,
like,
I don't
he would
mean
have a
that. I
goon
just
to
mean
do that for him.
like it's not for me. It's not especially fun to watch version A and version A2 fight each other or something. You know, it's like it's like when Iron. You know, I don't know. It's hard to describe, but I just feel like it's much more compelling when you make a villain who is the antithesis of the hero, like, and can take advantage of the hero's weaknesses.
Well, that was
I
I think for the Michael G. or for Kill. I don't know why I'm hung up on that.
Yeah.
For Killmonger, I'm gonna start saying, right, the fact that I totally got his motivations. I totally felt for him, and what I wanted from T'Challa was him to reach out and I know that he can't. You know what I mean? But he yells at his ghost dad that he was wrong or whatever. But really reach out and be like, hey, they fucked you, and I get that, and I'm sorry. Come back to the fray. Let's do this the right way, and then. But that I never had.
The problem is he didn't have the moment of realization until after he died, so he can't come back and be like, "Hey, you thought you killed me, but let's try to make this right." At that point, they're mortal enemies.
Which is, but I mean, why? But that was the whole thing of
It's-
why he wouldn't say his name in the room, and he wouldn't. I
mean,
would have been like,
I
"Oh
thought-
fuck, I know who you are." Yeah, hey everybody, here's
yeah,
what my
we can
dad
explain
did.
this.
We fucked him. We need to fix this.
Well, I
Instead,
think-
it
But you guys-
escalates to all of a sudden out of this.
Yeah, I
You
think
guys
he
are
was still
saying there weren't
conflicted at that
too many
point.
standout moments. I think that throne room moment was man, Michael B. Jordan walking in there and taking control of the room and talking and even the say my name as he's getting dragged out.
Sure.
And that one random person being like, "What's your name?" And I thought that was a really cool, powerful
I
moment
really enjoyed
that
it.
set
No,
it
again,
all
I
up.
think-
And I think
Yeah, but then we went and fought on the
T'Challa-
waterfall, and it was the two dudes that were evenly matched fighting on the waterfall. And you're like,
I mean, they
all
weren't
right.
evenly matched. Fucking Michael B. Jordan looked. At first, it was oh, okay, these, and then it's no,
fucked him
he's
up.
fucking him up.
Yeah. I just feel like there was nothing especially stand out about any of the action sequences in this, right? And again, I hate to harp on it, but I really like all the politics of this world way more than watching that's my thing that was a little disappointing toward the end was you have Michael B. Jordan, who's this master strategist who was playing this long con or this long game of I am going to get this guy on my side so that I can get close to him so that I can kill him and then bring him to these people that I know want him so that I can use him as leverage to get in front of the throne so that I can challenge the king because I can do that because I know I'm blood and they don't. And then what does he end up doing? He ends up standing on a little bit of a hill just waiting for people to come at him, and that's the master plan.
Well, he walks up to the wall that's protected by the guy that.
No, I just mean like
you know.
the end of it was like that was it. You're just gonna launch 3 ships, and they're going to take
Getting them weapons
weapons
out. New York, London.
to New York and London.
I mean,
and
but
what is that
all
going to
over the
do?
place.
That was
and
the
Iron
start
Man's
of the
not going to
plan.
stop you.
They're gonna
Like,
start overthrowing
Yeah.
people, man. They couldn't keep up.
but that's what I'm saying is like
Vibranium.
I get it. It's just not grand enough, right? For a guy who's that smart, I wanted to see what happens when those weapons hit the streets
I
of
think-
New York and London, and I wanted to see that fight. I wanted to see the third act not end like, which would felt to me very prematurely like Iron Man, right? Where it was like, where are we going to go after this? Where's he going to do? And no, it just ended up with him this big kind of fight. It wasn't even that big. It felt like 30 people were fighting off over there, and he just for whatever reason couldn't get the 20 feet, over. It just, I don't know. It just felt like it was anticlimactic to me.
I loved the sister so much.
She was amazing.
I want
She
her
was
in
great.
every
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
She was funny. Her lines were cool. What she does
The
is
character
cool.
was cool.
Yeah,
when,
her
the,
tech
when, the
cute.
girls,
Yeah.
when the 2 girls kind of suited up and were
Yeah.
fighting,
And she's got the Panther
fucking
paws.
so awesome. I loved all that. A
Do
character.
you see her ever taking over for Iron Man?
Ooh.
Oh,
That's a really,
that could
really
be
cool
really interesting,
idea.
yeah.
Wow. Also,
I like
like,
that.
so Iron Man's suit is going to be integrated with this Black Panther
the Black
suit.
Panther suit.
Yeah.
Well, think about it. They made
That's
the Iron Man suit
fucking
out of
awesome.
vibranium, right?
Well, I mean, I think that's what we're
going to see
Yeah,
in
that's what we're going to see.
Infinity
Because
War.
the way it was building looked very similar to the way it like
Oh, right.
came out of
What
his.
was
Yeah.
The character that I'm like, why are they even in the movie? Is Martin
Freeman.
Yep.
Martin Freeman.
Yep.
What the
that
the
must.
fuck?
So I.
Is that a comic person?
What?
I
Also,
don't know.
was he in the other movies?
Yeah.
I don't recall him from at all from
Was
Civil
he?
War. Is that
He
what
was
it
in
is?
Civil War.
Yeah.
So his name
I don't
Everett
remember
Ross.
that at all.
Everett Ross, like General Ross. Like
So
similar.
that
in-
was
in
weird. I think
last
unrelated. I
name.
think
No,
unrelated.
I'm not saying they're related. It's
it
just
up.
weird that they have the same last name in such a small
Small,
universe.
yeah.
Yeah.
As government
But
people.
could it be a setup for another secret organization similar to
Hydra,
or Shield?
all that
Yeah,
stuff.
that like will be revealed later, and we'll be like, oh,
I
look,
think
they
he's
were
just going to
planting
be the bridge
seeds.
character that brings them into the Avengers. Like
That's
that
also
bridges the work.
necessary, you know.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Because
He's
otherwise, what's
another
really
Coulson
the
almost.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
exactly.
Coulson.
Yeah.
He's Coulson 2.0 basically.
I just thought it was weird. I didn't like any scene that he had. I feel like,
Yeah,
like
it was
he
kinda like, what's happening
anytime
here?
he was the butt of the joke, I didn't think it was that funny.
No.
And it was just like, oh, here we go again.
I love Martin Freeman, and I love him for everything he's done, including Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and
Mm-hmm.
Sherlock. But he needs to stop doing the American accent. It was not working for me. It was the only part of the movie that I was like, oh my god, dude, stop! Like, I love. Maybe it's because I'm so used to hearing him with that prop.
I
Like
think
that,
that's it.
British. Well, I don't know. I always say British accent, and then everyone in the fucking UK is like, "That's not a British accent. That's a Cambridge accent or a Manchester accent." I'm like, "All right, guys, we don't get it. Just let us know in the comments below what kind of accent Martin Freeman really fucking has."
Correct us
Okay,
anyway.
but I'll tell you one accent.
Correct
he really,
us so we don't listen again.
yeah, here you go. I'll tell you the accent he doesn't fucking have. Whatever that hybrid Bostonian New York accent that he was trying to do in this one, it just didn't work for me. He was like, I don't know. You trying to wait? Are you trying to tell me that this is Wakanda? I don't get it. I'm like, what
Mark
are you?
Wahlberg?
I love
It was weird. It didn't work for me. I was like, just let him be British.
I
for
loved
Christ's
all
sake.
the action scenes with the. Well, first off, I loved the sister. I loved the sand. Anytime the sand was
Jesus.
used, the opening scene of all the
tech was
sand,
cool. The tech was
telling
good.
Dude, the opening
Oh,
scene
the
of the
opening
story was
scene, yeah.
awesome.
so
Yeah.
awesome,
Really
so
good.
cool. When the sand made the car, and then she was driving the car. When
Yeah.
that chase
That's
scene,
cool.
that was my favorite action scene in the movie, and like it had
See,
some cool.
half
things.
of that was my favorite action scene. All the stuff with Michonne. What is her name? We gotta start.
You don't
saying
think
her
Danae.
name. Danae? Like she was awesome. All the stuff with Black Panther, I was like, I don't.
Black Panther on top of the car, like
when he
and
pulled,
hers
when he
sister
drifted
driving,
the car up.
so fucking
cool,
fun, like,
but, like,
so fun.
I just feel like for whatever reason, maybe it's because I know the suit that he's wearing is completely impervious to like everything, and at no point was he ever did he ever come close to danger? I just felt like maybe there was
How
a
does
little
it
less
protect about like getting
No,
crushed?
because it's who
Because
knows?
it's like
Vibranium.
fabric,
Vibranium.
but it's
It's
fabric, you know.
vibranium.
I liked
It's
all his
still-
like explosion shit.
Yeah,
like how
I love
boom,
them
boom,
playing
boom.
with
Yeah.
that sort of kinetic energy
It's
technology.
it's interesting because it doesn't seem like he has it down at all.
which is good.
Yeah.
because hopefully we'll see some
Well,
creative uses of it because it wasn't too
later.
creative
Yeah,
in this.
I mean, that's the thing.
was kinda
There's
just
so
like,
many
get
moments
off
where
of
it's
me.
like, I think I'm using it right.
Well, in the beginning chase scene, like he didn't even know he had it, and she was like, "Hey, you've been getting shot at this whole time. You have all this kinetic energy stored
Yeah.
up. Use it." And that's when he just
And that was a
makes
great
up
moment.
the vehicle fucking. I
But
thought,
that-
Yeah.
I don't know.
when that action scene ended, I like said to myself, "That's fucking cool."
I also thought
was
that. Where it was
awesome.
like, oh, that's so cool. Because
It was cool, but was it any cooler than when he was fighting motorcycles in?
It was way cooler.
I thought it was way cooler.
Way cool.
Civil
That
War.
had the like chase scene had 3 large vibranium explosions where it was Andy Serkis shot the 2 cars and like they exploded really cool.
But wasn't the other car made of vibranium? And what?
No, it was just shielded.
But didn't he say that's a vibranium car? Idiot.
The one the girls were in.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, but isn't that the one where he blasted
Nick,
and it just went apart?
vibranium gun can shoot through vibranium car.
The rules of vibranium.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Yeah,
I apologize.
you can't fuck
Captain
with
America
vibranium,
is
yeah.
fucked. These guns get out.
I think the technology that they had that like right off the bat, they are going. They're in Nigeria, and this is sort of one of the intro scenes where
He's got fucking tape on their like magazines.
well, they're using the sand to sort of display the vehicles
Yeah.
Yeah,
driving,
that was
and he
cool.
just picks up a vehicle and like,
Takes off the top.
man, that shit. I was
That
like,
was
wow, that's awesome.
It's like a cool new way of like
serious.
what Stark
Lupita
Tech
Nyong'o's
does.
character.
What
Yeah,
Tony
yeah,
does
yeah.
with everything.
But that was a weird thing with like Lupita Nyong'o's character. I love Lupita Nyong'o. Don't get me wrong, but like, what was her goal in that? She was like, was she captured or was she a spy?
No, she
Or
was a
she
spy.
just-
She said she was
trying
a
to
spy.
she was
figure
trying to
out.
sneak into
Remember,
something.
when she gets out, she's like, "You blew my mission" or whatever, and he's like, "Dad's dead. I want you to come home and do this with me." She's like,
And then was
"Okay."
she? Did I catch it right? Was she one of the members of the other tribe that could have challenged him?
no, I think she.
Because I could have swore she denied it.
You're right. She did deny.
Yeah,
it.
She did.
I think
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
why he told
Oh,
her she had to
shit.
come back because it was like, hey, you got to come back. You have to basically challenge me.
I didn't notice
And she
that.
was like, no, we're good.
I love
That was a cool scene,
Oakland
too.
That was a
scenes.
cool scene.
Yeah.
Cool.
The
I
Oakland
loved all
scenes
that
were-
stuff. And yeah, again, I wish there was way more Michael B. Jordan. I feel like he got relegated too
I agree
much.
with that, and I wish there was more Sterling K. Brown.
Yeah, me too.
I like him a lot since People vs. O.J. Simpson or
Hell yeah,
whatever,
he
and
was so
then
good.
he was awesome in this. And it's like that's what's weird about this movie is there's players in this movie that when they're on the board, all eyes on them. They're stealing the scene. They're amazing. And then when those players weren't there, it's like, oh man, everybody else is kind of weak right here. This isn't.
Yeah, that's why. Again, I hate to harp on it, but that was my biggest problem with like I wanted more Michael B. Jordan. I wanted to see whatever the plan was going to come to barely to fruition, like almost to fruition, right? But we didn't. We just got those cargo ships that were slowly moving out of Wakanda space.
For how
that
long this
could
movie
never be
was,
stopped
which
by
was
anything else.
very long,
So
2 hours
long.
and 15
Yeah.
minutes. There was never a point that I felt dragged on.
In me,
and
I
there's never a
completely
point that I
agree.
was
Smoothly.
bored. And usually with these movies, there is some stretch at some point where I'm like, at this I was never like, yeah, for extended periods of time. But like, there wasn't any point that I was like, keep just keep
See,
moving.
to me, the entire third act was I mean, and
I definitely
this
drifted at points.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is not uncommon for a lot of the standalone Marvel movies, or a lot of Marvel movies in general, right? It gave me the same sort of general malaise that like Age of Ultron gave me.
Yeah, I
where I
mean,
was like,
phase 2 movies,
all
I
right,
think
there's just a
you-
bunch of people fighting
right
now.
on that end.
Cool. And then, but the really important fights down there by the train. Because if Michael B. Jordan kills him, like he's gonna come up and just kill everyone else. So why do I care about everyone else? It doesn't really matter, right?
They had rhinos, dude.
They did
were
have
the
rhinos, and I like the scene.
The
The
setup
rhinos,
before,
I was
yeah.
like, this is kind of lame, except the payoff of the
Yeah.
rhino stopping and licking her face. I was like, all right, I'll give you that one.
that was awesome.
One of my.
but-
Sorry.
No, I was gonna say, just my biggest criticism is like a lot of the reviews came out and they were like, it's gonna show you something you've never seen before. Like this movie has never before seen things and experiences you've never seen in an MCU, and I just didn't see any of that.
Culturally, I get it.
Culturally, yes.
But in terms of movie making, in terms of
Action sequences,
scenes, choreography, and a lot of just all the stuff that makes the movie connect, I feel like there was a lot of the missteps and the pacing just felt weird. I feel like so many times they were trying to make a huge reveal and it wasn't a huge reveal.
Didn't work, yeah.
Like when it like showed the shot of the kid and it's like, oh, the kid's Michael B. Jordan. Yeah, you told us that already. So when we see the kid, that's
Yeah.
not shocking. Like that's
That
not
actually, that part works for me.
Really?
Yeah, that
Really?
part, like, because I didn't connect that the kid. I just thought there were kids outside looking at the shit, going, "What the hell's that?"
But,
thing?
like, there was
But then when we
definitely-
finally go back to the kid on the basketball court, I was like, "Oh fuck, he watched that whole
Yeah,
thing.
that-
that is intense."
that
Well,
worked
he didn't,
for me.
he didn't watch it.
Well, he
Yeah,
saw
he
he saw
knew
something
some-
that
yeah,
would
it
look
was
like a technically
happening, yeah.
advanced thing go, and he put two
Like
and two
I didn't
together.
like,
But-
yeah, the one guy who was Forrest Whitaker, like all that stuff was kind of cool to me.
I thought that was really cool. Seeing him, and I was like,
Again.
man, that really looks like Forrest Whitaker.
Jeez,
And
they
then
they
later
did a good
seeing
job.
Forrest Whitaker, I was like,
Yeah, the
how?
casting for all
that
that
was
stuff
really
was
They did a
cool.
phenomenal
yeah, really
job with
good
that stuff. The scene where Michael B. Jordan has already sort of taken the throne and is sent back to the
It's what do they call it? Astral something.
Astral
right?
plane
Was it
or-
astral plane?
No,
Some- I
Astral
don't
Plane's
know.
from
It's
Ancestors Place or something?
Ancestors plane. I think it was Ancestors plane.
ancestral plane.
Yeah, and I think
That
that's
was
what
dope,
that
by the
sounds
way.
it.
We used to
To
see
hell.
the Panthers
Well, it's
in the
cool, 'cause,
tree,
like,
and you
is
just
that
see
the-
their eyes. It's fucking
Is that
Lion
just the
King is
ancestral?
so
Use the color was
I
nice.
already talked over shit.
Yeah, so when T'Challa is back there visiting his dad, I thought that was very emotional and it was really cool, really well done. But I loved it even more when Michael B. Jordan
Yeah.
went back
Yeah.
and got to see, like we saw another side and they added so much more depth to the character. Like I thought, man, while I was watching this, I was like, this is stuff that it doesn't happen in a lot of Marvel movies.
100%.
Like this is awesome.
Well, yeah, but you have like Michael B. Jordan and Sterling K. Brown and that amazing scene together where it's like
Yeah, it was great.
he's like,
Well, I mean,
fuck, look what I made. Like, look what I
emotional, man.
did.
And it was the point, like, right, of like in the opening, I was like, oh, Sterling K. Brown. Oh, he got, okay, what's gonna happen? Okay, where's he coming back? And when we get back there, even in the moment, I was like, why is he running guns? Why is he doing all this stuff in the beginning? To get that back there in the middle, and he has that great scene of just like, fucking our people are everywhere across the world, and everywhere else they're getting fucked up. Like, we need to figure this out. And I was like, oh my God.
This
What
is
a great motivation, what a timely motivation, what a really cool through line to follow. And then to get to Michael B. Jordan in the throne room. You're all living really well up here.
Yeah.
The rest of us aren't. Like, let's fuck. And I was like,
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is
no,
fucking good.
this, and give me more of that, lean more into that, go
Yes,
more with that. And I
totally.
didn't feel they did.
Yeah,
I
that's what
thought
I'm
they had a
saying.
great idea. And
As
never
far as the ending of the movie, I feel like that there's the character T'Challa grows so much, and by the end of it,
He learns
he's
from the
like,
bad guy.
He learns from the bad guy. He goes back to talk to his dad, and he's like, "You guys are wrong. What you guys have been doing is wrong. We need to make it better." And then he goes back, bad guy, fucking great death scene,
Yep.
great death
Bringing
scene.
him the sunset.
And then
doing it right.
what happens next? T'Challa's like, "I'm gonna make the world different. I'm gonna make things better." And we get that like cool Iron Man moment.
Yeah, that final sequence was just beautiful. I thought it was
It's
so
so
well done.
beautiful. And Michael B. Jordan's performance is amazing. He's such a good actor.
Love
but
him.
him sitting there and like being like, bury me in the ocean or
Yeah.
wow. Yeah.
That was
great.
good.
That was a good
Yeah.
scene. That was awesome.
And also,
But again,
I
all
like
that stuff
they
was
used,
really interesting.
Yeah.
But the action sequence, I think if you'd cut the action sequence out of this, I'd have been like, I like
could've been a much more
the
solid movie.
politics.
Yeah.
A lot more than I like any of the action sequences, which for me just felt like filler moments to get to the character development.
Yeah.
To get to those really interesting issues that I wanted to see these two characters talk about, because in a lot of different ways, like the Michael B. Jordan character wasn't exactly wrong, right? Like the
No,
most
I mean, he
conflicted
was
person
wrong
in
in like how he was trying to do
Well,
things.
The fact that he's
Like,
literally
he wants
that
to
he's
not
not
incite
working
war.
on the
Yeah.
But the fact of that he's like, hey, we
Revolution.
can go out there and we can fight this revolution was his motivations. It's not exactly like I empathize with that, right? And then T'Challa's character, Chadwick Boseman's character, like he was the most conflicted and fucked up of all of them, because he was like leading this lie, leading his kingdom in this lie.
Yeah.
And so again, like I want to see at the end of the movie, I'm like, I legitimately want to see like what he does with all this stuff. And then when we got to the building, I was like, that's a good idea.
Well, even-
like you guys have a lot of wealth and a lot of money you could spread around to these impoverished communities.
Even
like,
the politics within Wakanda, I thought were really interesting. Like with how they have the challengers and the fighting and stuff,
Yeah.
and seeing how the different tribes kind of
Interact,
have,
yeah.
and have their different like back and forths.
Balances.
I thought that stuff was very cool. And when Michael B. Jordan took over, to see all the tribes kind of split and like take different sides, I was like,
Yep. That was
is
really cool.
very cool and very well thought out. And I appreciated the post credit scene, the mid credit scene, where usually one of them's more building the story and one of them's like comedy. This wasn't comedy. This was like, we have a message with this
Yeah.
movie and we're sticking to it.
I mean, like, I feel like that was a response to what you guys are saying, where you wanted more of that story. Like that
that was great. Yeah, we got those
Yeah.
elements. I liked a lot. Like I liked the
like, what-
political
what-
sort of like commentary of the entire piece. I just felt like I also would have really liked to have inspired action sequences, and I just don't think we got those.
I'm very impressed that this movie decided, like, had the courage to not have Tony Stark, to not have Captain America, to not have some unnecessary cameo, because that works in so many of those movies, and that's what makes them fun. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
like seeing Doctor Strange in Ragnarok was
Yep.
that was cool, and it made the universe.
But it wouldn't have fit here.
different.
Like,
It
this
wouldn't
is a
have fit.
closed world,
And I'm happy that they
and it's
kept it that
perfect
way,
that they
'cause it
kept
definitely
it.
gave
I
us
mean,
some
I guess they
balance.
had Martin Freeman's character, you know.
Well, that's episode
You know,
one. They're not the
But I mean, that
He
is
ain't no
what
Tony
is
Stark.
connecting
That's
it.
what
Like,
tying it
why
all.
was he there? It's because it's connecting it to our world that we
also
understand.
got the post credit sequence where we got
story building.
Sure,
Story
that
building
was
stuff.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is cool.
So
Very
I noticed we keep talking about performance and actors. The movie's called Black Panther. We've said nothing about Chadwick Boseman. What did you guys think of him?
I thought that all, like, seeing the amount of actors in this movie and actresses was
Yeah.
very impressive. And even though I didn't know half their names, I was like, I loved how many characters they threw at us and made us care about them at least enough. And we understood their roles. And I thought that there wasn't too many people that stood out to me. I'm like, that's not good. But Michael B. Jordan's just so good
Yeah.
that I think that Chadwick
He
playing
seemed-
against him made him seem less good. But I still thought it was great.
I thought there were a lot of moments when they were together where it was like he just Chadwick
Boseman.
Yeah, he just doesn't. He's not as strong as an actor, and it's it's really tough when it's against Michael B. Jordan because
I don't think it's the acting. I think
actor.
it's the character. I
Yeah,
think
I do
think
too.
it's T'Challa being sort of this humble, soft-spoken dude. And honestly, it reminds me of my time with Horizon Zero Dawn and how I didn't love Aloy as the main character because
that's the thing, it's-
I wanted Aloy to be Chloe or Nathan Drake, and I wanted Chadwick Boseman to be Tony Stark. I wanted that snarky sort of back
but you're
and
not
forth.
getting that. And that's again my problem with actually not a problem so much. It's just it really does speak volumes to Michael B. Jordan. Like his character was just more fun. His character was more intriguing and more.
Well, he
and
was
better
so-
watched.
just
more
so
intriguing.
ruthless.
I think is
Fun's not the right word, yeah, but
it's
like
not even
he's just
like
a lot more of a
ruthless. He had
dynamic
so much-
character.
he had so much going on, and his character was, I think, more complex in a way that was that we got a little bit towards the end of the movie once he realizes that like what Wakanda's doing is wrong in his eyes. Like we got a little bit more complexity in the character, and I think that we saw a little bit of Chadwick like emoting more there.
Yeah.
Because before it
That
was
was-
too subtle.
And that was the thing, I think. Like, subtle is a great way to put it, and you know, soft-spoken is a good way to put it. But like in the opening, like scene, right, or not even opening scene, but in the opening of the movie, where he, you know, jumps out of the plane and kills the guy's blah, and like, don't freeze, and then he freezes. But even his freeze didn't feel like a real freeze.
Yeah.
And it was just like,
But-
I get
Yeah,
what you're-
that
I
didn't
know what
hit.
you're trying
Really?
to
Oh,
do
the
here, but
comedy
I'm
that-
not enjoying
The freeze thing?
Oh.
Oh, that didn't land for me.
Him freezing didn't seem like he froze, but her being like, he froze.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
hit for me.
She
when I
was
like,
funny.
yeah,
Her
yeah,
thing
yeah,
was
yeah,
funny.
yeah.
His thing wasn't. I didn't.
Yeah,
think.
so I
Yeah.
feel like it kind of like what it ruined the punchline when the setup was.
Well,
not
he also
really
had the
there.
helmet on. It's hard to. He still had the helmet
Watch
on.
this. Watch
Yeah.
it.
But I mean, like, I outside of the scenes with
Nailed
his
it.
dad, like in the astral plane, I just really didn't really
Ancestral
like
plane.
anything. Ancestral plane.
Ancestral.
I didn't like any of the. I didn't.
No,
I didn't think he stood out in his performance ever.
Not
really
legal
went
on this
anywhere.
planet, but on the ancestral plane. No, ancestral plane. Excuse me. Just move
Nick,
on.
we don't
move
have
on.
time codes
They
going
can't all
on.
be gold.
Another thing that I feel worked against Black Panther's character versus Killmonger was the score, where Killmonger, anytime he was on screen, it was the
Hip-hop.
fucking hip-hop
Yeah.
dope shit, and it
Dope
was awesome.
shit.
The Kendrick score was so damn good,
So
and it
good.
made anytime in the action scenes when it was playing, I was
Fucking
in.
dope.
And
Fucking
There
in.
was that sort of cheesy moment where Andy Serkis makes reference to it. He's like, "Hey, put on some music. We're not at a funeral." And then they play some dope ass music. I was like, "All right,
Do
you didn't need to
think-
say
liked
that."
it.
No,
I
I
liked
I
it.
think that plays into the Andy Serkis character, who like I can't believe that's.
To me,
You know?
like they might as well have had Kendrick be like, "All right, man," and like hit a button and play something. Like they might as well.
I got
try
that
to
hot
have
shit
Kendrick
for you.
is holding up
I
a
did
fucking
like his
boom box.
SoundCloud joke though about his.
That
the
was
mix-
hilarious.
That,
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
funny.
yeah.
But my problem was when the score wasn't that, and when the
Yeah.
score was more orchestral
symphonic,
and subdued, and like for the Black Panther moments,
Yeah.
like anytime when they're in the plane and they're talking, or any death that anything happened. I thought the score was bad.
Really?
Oh,
I like
man,
that. I like
it
that
was
score.
good.
Incredible.
I thought it
I
was
loved it.
distracting.
I
I thought
liked
that there
it.
was a dissonance with it where it didn't fit what was going on. It never felt somber. It felt like a weird,
uplifting.
weirdly uplifting.
No, see, the only
and
time
made
I
a way
noticed
that,
that-
wasn't the point. It felt wrong.
The only time I
didn't like that
noticed
at
it
all.
was
I
at the very,
completely
very end,
disagree.
where the entire thing had been like minor melodic notes, and it was kind of sad. And you're like, oh, this is really sad that this guy who, in any other circumstances, would have been these guys would have been best friends.
Yeah.
Had his father made one different choice, either of their fathers made different choices.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is a little weird that the guy pulls a gun on him, his father, and then he stabs him through the chest when he's wearing an all vibranium suit. But I guess the helmet was off. Doesn't matter.
Well, he pulled the gun on the other guy.
Yeah, he pulled the gun
And
on.
he knocked the gun out and stabbed him in the
Yeah,
chest.
he was
is that
gonna
what he
he was
said?
gonna
Yeah,
shoot
he was
Forrest
going to shoot
Whitaker.
Forrest young Forrest Whitaker.
Oh,
Probably
okay,
didn't
I
have to
missed that.
stab him, though.
Yeah, could have
Could've
just
just
probably
disarmed him.
doesn't matter.
Could have literally
Anyway,
cut his arm off.
So literally, we have the ending moment, right? And they sort of had that realization that they're a lot more like, you know, they could have been friends, they're cousins, like they would have grown up together, and like he gets to see this place that should have been his birthplace, and then he goes, yeah, you know, they have those final last words, and he kind of just takes the thing out and dies, and the music goes super happy.
It was
and it's
weird.
like that's
it didn't
weird.
work.
That's
it didn't work.
very
Such
weird.
a great scene, and I
'Cause it should have been a really somber and sad moment, where it should have been one to like. It was not a happy moment for me. I was like, dude, this fucking sucks.
there
Like,
should have been some type of crescendo of
Yeah.
emotion, and instead it wasn't that. It sucked
was my-
because the score, the other half of the score was so good.
oddly reminiscent to me of Rogue One's score, which is was my only big criticism in that movie, where I was like,
movie's
why is
perfect.
the
You're
score
crazy.
so happy all of the time?
Yeah,
The score
no,
is
that's
happy-go-lucky and inspiring, and it's like, this is a dark fucking world these people live in. So, I don't know.
Hope is why.
Yep.
Hope. Is that why?
Hope's built on
Is that why?
rebellion.
It's a rebellion.
Save the trees.
We're a rebel.
Not in the movie.
I loved the the sort of symphonic score.
I did too.
I thought it was great.
I thought it was different. I thought it was good.
Exactly.
And I liked it
To
a
me,
lot.
what made it feel different and like more than just a, I guess because we're just so used to da, da, na, 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 like we're so used to the Avengers theme. Like this felt different enough to me where I was like, man, this is fucking great. I love this. I'm digging it.
Yeah.
You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me a lot of the score for Interstellar, which I really loved. That like sort of really sad, like faded score that they did with that movie. So I liked it a lot. But I'm in agreement with you that the Kendrick Lamar stuff was fucking
awesome.
nasty.
So fucking
So
good.
And shout out to whatever motion graphics studio
Jesus.
did the. And I love that Marvel does it with almost every movie. I think it's every movie at this point where it breaks to the credits where it's top of line credits,
yeah.
and that fucking sequence was
It was hot.
nasty hot.
Yeah.
Like the song that was playing, of which was I forget,
typography.
Cool Greg. Cool Greg said it was someone from Oakland, an artist from Oakland that was doing that. Cool Greg, who was? Oh, it was right before that. Because I felt like it was Kendrick that did that.
It's Kendrick and
SZA.
SZA.
Dude,
Yeah.
that shit. And we're seeing just like it starts with the purple with like the grain
The sand.
texture, but it's going to the beat,
Yeah.
but it's forming just the different shapes
was
and the
cool.
different like
Beautiful.
the textures, and then it goes to a different color and different color, but they're all colors that you see. Fucking
It was
stunning.
cool. It was interesting how
Yes,
late the
stunning.
Marvel Studios logo came in. Because
Yeah.
usually the movies like straight up start with that. There's rare exceptions like
I think that
Spider-Man
was to build
Homecoming.
the tone.
Yeah, and I
And
think
it like
they
did a
great
fucking
with
great
that.
job.
Yeah.
When that first, what was it, like a 10-minute sequence? Man, less than that.
No.
Less than that.
Yeah,
Less than
yeah.
that.
But when that
45
first
minutes.
sequence happened, I like turned over to Greg and I was just like, "This is fucking way better than I expected." Like, yeah, I did not expect. Like, damn, it got my attention, and we weren't at Wakanda, and I was like, damn, like, I was blown away by that moment, and I felt like it. You know, I really like this movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into the ranking then.
Did we talk about post credits?
Yeah.
a little
we?
bit. I said it was cool. I wouldn't agree.
I feel like
So
the
the-
post-credit scene was, I think,
The first- The first post credit scene is Chadwick Boseman giving that really awesome speech and kind of mirrored a lot of shit that's happening in the real world right now, which I thought it was great and poignant and like just super well said.
We
and
assume
then,
when they all nod, he just went into his suit, right? And then tore it.
Killed everyone.
Why should I listen to a fucking farmer? And they're all like, and he's like, that's why I have this kind of tech. You cut off the
It was a little weird though that like the movie ends with the
the
kid
same
being
sort
like,
of
"Who are
beat.
you?" And it's like it's the pan into him, and he's like. Gives the knowing look.
No, I
and then
like
we get
that.
credit, and then it's post credit.
Oh,
He's like,
that's true.
why should we listen to
Good
you, a
point.
farming center? And it just pans it at everybody again. He looks at the camera again and gives the same look. And it's like, that's a little weird,
I like
guys.
the
That was a
Oakland
little
stuff
weird.
got me super excited. Where I was like, oh, that's
Yeah,
really
it's
cool.
cool.
I'm
Cool.
excited to see that.
Yeah.
and then the final post credit scene was
big old buck.
Big old Bucky Barnes.
His name's
Really
Buck,
cool.
and he likes
If someone was like, call me Bucky, I'd be like, I'd rather not. Can I call you by your last
The
name,
White
sir?
Wolf.
Yeah.
Just say
I'll
that.
call you the Gray Wolf or White Wolf, but Bucky is not coming out of my fucking
Is
mouth
that a
anytime
nickname
soon,
they
buddy.
used before, White Wolf?
Greg.
Oh, we'll get to that. Yeah. So you're I don't think you should be jumping.
Oh,
we
okay,
still got to
yeah,
do
you're right.
Ragu Bagu.
You're right,
we
you're
got
right.
hot off the press Easter eggs for
Let's
you
go.
from
Oh,
screenrant.com. I'm going to read you. Some of them not that interesting. So I'll pan around. That mask Michael B. Jordan holds up, the Killmonger's mask, is
a
from
cool mask.
comics. It's right from the comics. Of course, this mask is actually a clever throwback to not one, but two different comic designs.
That's
the
cool, too.
first. What, the next one? Under the one I'm reading right now?
Well, I knew you were going to skip it. I don't want you to skip that.
Why would he skip it? Just
Anyways, it's from two fucking things. It's from two different comics or whatever. The Demon Mephistos or whatever, and the Black Panther run, and then another one. Then what do you want me to say about this one?
I just think this. I know where this is going. It's cool.
don't skip it.
I didn't even. What,
Oakland Proud.
Black Panther, Oakland Proud says, and Nick says it's cool.
Well, because the first time they worked together was on Fruitvale Station. That was the movie that broke Ryan Coogler's
Gotcha.
career. In the end, he worked with Michael B. Jordan. That's why he came back to Michael B. Jordan on this one and said, "Be in this movie."
Understandable,
Yeah,
man.
and it was set in
so
Oakland
good.
about the Oakland shooting.
The
BART shooting.
old king who dies in Civil War, right? And then is obviously a big part of this movie. His son actually plays the young king who goes
He
in
looks
there.
fucking exactly like
Dr.
him.
Sterling K. Brown.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that was
that's
a
why-
good. That was
that's
good
how they did it,
casting.
you know what I
I
mean?
thought
Wow.
Michael B. Jordan's character looked identical to Michael B. Jordan. That shit. Or
That-
Tim, do you call him MBJ?
MJ.
We do now.
MJ.
Fucking go.
MJ. Cool.
Jesus.
I did not.
SOJ
you
is
skipped
totally a
Stan
thing.
Lee's cameo.
It's
We didn't talk about Stan Lee's
100%.
cameo. I didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
Stanley's cameo.
I
was
didn't
just
like
a
it.
cameo.
The joke just didn't hit.
It went on too long.
It was
went
too
on
long, yeah. Too many
Usually
lines.
stands there for 2 seconds and it's great. He's like, I'm just gonna do.
He should have
this
just
and
said,
The
that.
camera fought him over. He just stopped
It
for a
would've been funnier
second.
if he's like,
shit is
I'll take
pants.
these.
Yeah, you gonna keep those true
Yeah.
believers, some shit like that.
True.
Excelsior.
Yeah.
go
So then the other guy who originally challenged, M'Baku, played by Winston Duke,
From the
is-
Gorilla Nation thing.
Exactly. That's based on the character Manape from the comic books. From he's
really
the
like
leader of a
them too.
rival
Yes.
clan
He
of
was
gorilla worshipping warriors.
I loved the set design.
Jesus.
with
Oh my
that.
yeah!
That, like, that was
His
awesome.
little like throne room that is
is,
like
like, covered
held
with
up by
gorillas
the
holding it
gorilla
up.
on the
Yeah.
side.
But like the
It's
floating,
so cool.
the floating pieces of wood. Was,
Yeah,
that was really
I mean,
well
not
done.
floating,
They were
obviously,
strings.
but yeah,
like we
but
saw it. They
that
couldn't hide
looked
them.
awesome. I love the way they
But
designed
also
that.
that character being like, instead of just taking the Black Panther juice.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's a
going
man
and
of
being like,
honor.
yeah, exactly. That was really
Yeah,
cool.
I like that
and
a lot,
it makes
yeah.
me really like that character. And
Exactly.
I want to see more of that. Marvel doing a great job. You get me in there.
Okay.
Anyways,
I want more.
sure he dropped a Vine joke during this. I didn't get that, but the audience laughed real
what
hard.
are those?
Well, is that the Daniel? What is that? I don't know what that
it's
is.
similar. It's not
Yeah.
that, but it's just like someone wearing shoes and. they look
Yeah, a little
ridiculous.
dated.
Yeah, a little dated. Still appreciated it.
You guys,
A little-
movies take a long time to
to
make.
get over that.
Over
Things
to
take a
Wakanda.
while to get over to Wakanda.
When Shuri gives Black Panther those shoes, the sneakers, which I
Yeah.
thought was real funny, and they form.
Hilarious.
She says something to the effect of.
call
She
them
was like,
sneakers.
I got the idea from that old sequel to that 80s movie our dad liked. And I was like, oh, that's cool. These sneakers are going to come back in a great way.
No, I never did.
And they never did.
But it's
there's
Back
a
to
bunch
the
of time
Future
where he's
2.
running around not making any noise.
The reference is Back to the Future 2 is that they're making of the
Yeah.
self-lacing
There
shoes.
was
That
no,
was weird,
There was
yeah.
no point where he ran around and didn't make noise.
I
but
wonder
it
if there's
was
like a
cool.
deleted scene or
There
something.
must be one
Yeah.
where he's like by himself but just puts the shoes on. But it was I was like, because usually. I mean, whatever. It
We
was cool
saw
to see
the-
it.
the train
But
thing
usually,
and
if they
it came
go out
back.
of their fucking way to show you shoes,
saw the
those shoes are
rhinos,
going to
it
save
came
someone's
back.
life.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it was part of the whole like, here's all your cool
got cool
gadgets.
gadgets.
Like
But usually, again, no
she-
problem. They
When
didn't
she
care
showed
about
us
it,
that
but-
little pod that yes they used later, but like, do they have to show us the pod they were gonna use? Like, you know what I mean? When she was like, "This will make it so we can control cars," but she didn't say that.
Yeah,
Instead, she
no,
said
you're
something
right.
else.
You're
And I
right.
was
She
like,
said
what?
something that was very unclear, and so I
Yeah.
didn't understand it until
Yeah.
they used it. And then I was like, oh,
Yeah.
but they
Control
could have
cars,
just done that.
Yeah, they didn't explain it.
Quick hits for you. That Claw's arm on Andy Serkis is from the comics, and that's people were expecting that. Black Panther has wrestled a rhino before.
Hell yeah,
Black
wrestling,
Panther's
yeah.
gone down a waterfall before. When he looks like he's gotten
Yeah.
beaten and dead. I guess the gold Black Panther costume is kind of like the Black Leopard, which is another callback to comics. This is an interesting one. There's a Moonlight cameo in this Black Panther thing. One of the kids from Moonlight is the kid who walks up to him at the end of in Oakland. Is like, "Who are you?"
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so that was cool.
So that's
And
awesome.
then the White Wolf business with Bucky, right? But the name Bucky is called by the children of Wakanda. White Wolf may carry a greater meaning. It's the name given to an outsider left stranded in Wakanda and eventually raised to be T'Challa's most trusted soldier. So we'll see if that goes well. And then I forgot all about this, that Michael B. Jordan was also the Human Torch.
Yeah.
So now Chris Evans and him are Human Torch, and they're both in this MCU.
I
with
still
different
haven't
things.
seen Fantastic Four.
You don't need to,
I know I
probably.
don't need to,
Yeah.
but I kind of
And
want
we
to.
also
I always enjoyed
saw
those movies. I
Bilbo
know they're
Baggins
shit.
talking to
Gollum.
Gollum.
How
Yeah.
dare you?
Really cool scene.
Nobody
dare
likes that.
Really cool scene.
Ragu Bagu, go for it.
Ragu Bagu. Andy, do me a favor and play the theme song.
Dun 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 dun. Ragu
Ragu.
bagu. Dun 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 dun. Bagu. Dun, dun,
To bring you up to speed, of course, twitter.com/ragu-bagu vids. This is where we are rad guys talking bad guys. We rank them. Inside of
every
this
time.
show, we do another show where we do the ragu-bagu ranking of the Marvel MCU villains. Currently, this list is this. Bottom to top. Number 7, Abomination. Number 6, Loki and Thor. Number 5, Obadiah Stane. Number 4, the Mandarin / Aldrich Killian. If they're villains, we put them together if they're in the same movie. Number 3, Rockwell / Mickey. Number 2, Red Skull. Number 1, Loki and Avengers. Andy, where do you want to put Michael B. Jordan?
Dude, I put him in number 1.
Number one, dude.
I think he
yeah,
is
100%.
I think he's one of the best villains that I've seen in like a lot of different movies, not just the MCU. I love the performance. I thought the
character
motivations
was very
were
well
incredible.
developed. Fucking
Jeez.
awesome, yeah.
Here's the thing. I agree with all of that part, but action is a big part of it, right? Are the action fights for him weren't that great?
Is action a big part? Like
I think so.
We've seen plenty of great action.
First off, you're not even part of Ragu Bagu.
I
Vids.
am.
Don't
What
worry.
are you talking about?
No.
Yeah,
Are you
that's
kidding
a
me?
You always do the same thing like you always do with your little tick trying to bury you in, all right? I'm picking this tick out.
So hold
it's
on,
down
hold
to
on,
two
hold on.
guys.
Kevin,
Check
you
it
gotta
out.
light
You
him
on
on
the
fire.
Twitter header or
You
the
gotta
Twitter
light him
logo?
on- you
No,
gotta
you
light him on
aren't.
fire.
Are
Like
you
a tick.
telling me right
Light him
now
on fire,
that
Greg.
Loki in Avengers, the action there, like he had one good action scene where he's getting tossed around like a rag doll.
Sure.
Other
Also,
than
when
that,
he
his
tells
fights
everybody to
suck.
kneel.
That's not an action scene.
There's
was
action.
action.
He moves around.
There was shoot-
Remember when he
No.
takes the
Shoot the
guy's
throws
eye
in.
out too?
I don't think he took it out.
Regardless, I still put him at number one.
Kevin, where do you want to put
Can
him?
we put Sam
Number one,
Rockwell at number
100%.
2?
No, we can't. The list
okay.
has been made
Separate,
at this point. Do you want to have any chiming in?
I'm not.
No,
part of
he's
this.
not part of this goddamn
Oh,
thing.
well,
It's just
apparently
the
everybody
four of us,
is.
and we're the co-presidents.
Anybody else want to call right now?
You guys are fucking chilling with the villains, man.
What?
No. We
We weren't
specifically
part of
asked,
chilling for the
we
villains.
put an
went on
application
Ragu
for.
Bagu.
No, you
And
wanted to be a
just
part
so
of
I
you
came
know-
up with
just
half
so you
a
know,
theme song for Ragu
I've actually
Bagu.
been on every episode of Ragu Bagu. Can you say the same?
Oh, fuck.
That's what
you
I
just got
fucking thought.
pwned.
That's what I fucking thought.
Oh.
Got him.
I'm outvoted and I wouldn't fight too hard because I love him
Kevin's
so
so
much.
annoying.
New number one, everybody, MBJ. All right? MBJ from BP is the
Let's
number
go,
one.
dude. I'm in.
And check out next time. We'll be back with Lokes with Blokes vids.
Blokes and blokes.
I hope people understood that conversation.
Oh, and also remember patreon.com/kindafunny. $1,000 gets you the chance to run the Ragu Bagu vids for a week.
And every time we do anything, I want to roll a graphic to this. So since we don't have the graphic, will you allow Andy and me to sing the theme song again?
Now it's the outro. Ragu Bagu vids on Twitter. We'll see you soon.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Ragu.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Bagu.
Nice.
Cool, Greg. Can you bring up the rankings? Number 1, Avengers. Number 2,
This is the overall cinematic universe if you're at home listening. How we've ranked the movies before.
thus far. Number 2, Iron Man. Number 3, Iron Man 2. Number 4, Captain America, the First Avenger. Number 5, Iron Man 3. Number 6, The Incredible Hulk. And number 7, Thor. Where does Black Panther rank?
Before we rank this, I just want to say, I think that the new Marvel movies are made so differently that I think it's unfair to rank them like out of order.
Let's just cancel the series then.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Well, I mean, like, this is the one exception that we have to do out of order because of the way things are coming out. But I just, because I really like this movie, and I think that it's in that list. I put it much higher than, I think.
I put it really high too.
Okay.
Because
Oh,
I
okay.
agree with you. I
That's the
think
thing,
that
like,
they
these-
get,
Me neither.
they get
What?
way
I put it
better
right
made
above
over
Thor.
time.
Wow.
Right
above
above
Thor.
Yeah, I
Oh,
don't
you're
think-
crazy.
I
You
don't-
think Incredible Hulk is better than this?
You're crazy.
I think the Hulk is. I think I just like the Hulk better. I'm sorry, I don't care about the I liked everything else
That's
except the
insane.
actual hero, Black Panther. I just find
Yeah, but
What do you want from me?
My
I can be convinced to go above.
in
that.
my head, for me personally, the struggle is: would I put this? Where does it fit around Iron Man 3? Is it below or above Iron Man 3? Those are my
Below.
questions.
Interesting.
My
My thing is,
is it better than Iron Man 1 or not?
Mine's Iron Man 2.
I have it
so
in
my
that
thing
area.
is, I know it's
No,
better
it's
than
not.
Iron Man 2. I don't think it's better than
yeah,
Iron
real
Man 1.
quick-
Like 3 is where I think it stands.
Here's what I want to get clear because we're getting into the weeds. This is actually a one where we're all divisive on it, right? Are we saying it's a better movie, a better Marvel movie, a better superhero movie? Like, what are we defining right now?
It's ranking it in the cinematic
Yeah,
universe.
ranking
so what
it
out
in
of
these
the,
movies.
so
All
when I,
the
what I
things.
want when I go to a
Out of
comic book movie, when I
It's-
want
yeah,
when I
no,
go to a
it's-
Marvel
it's-
universe.
It's how does it add into this? Is with everything that came before it, how does it stand up?
Yeah.
Like the characters, were they cool with action scenes? All the things that go
Everything.
into. Does it stand alone? Does it build the universe? All that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would put it at either 3 or 4.
I
think it's better
would
than
put it
Captain
at 3
America.
for sure, in my opinion.
You think it's better than Iron Man 2, but not as good as Iron Man 1?
Yeah. Iron Man 1 has that special magic.
I could be convinced
There's no fucking way this movie.
to say that this movie is better than Iron Man 1.
Nobody's saying that it's better than Iron Man 1.
just said that.
He's fucking.
I think it
he's
could
just
be.
trying to get into
I
your
think
skin.
for sure.
Definitely
I think
not.
for sure it's
It's
number
not.
3.
Not only that
yeah, I
because
think
it
it's
literally
solidly number
reeks
3.
of Iron Man. Like it is. It's
Yeah,
an
at
origin
the
story
end-
like
at
every
the
other
end.
origin story, and it's not nearly as fun as what Iron Man was. Like this movie is.
That's the thing.
I was bored like through moments of this movie. I was legitimately bored.
This
I wasn't.
and
I feel like-
I cannot say the same thing about the Incredible Hulk. That's why I put it a notch below.
I was bored and incredible. This movie to me, it was not fun, but that wasn't the goal.
Yeah.
And I think that they did a good job of being serious and having it have a different tone and different feel. Whereas Ragnarok obviously was super
Meant to be fun.
Iron Man and anything Robert Downey Jr.'s in is unfair to this list because he is the MCU.
That's why he was in the center of that picture, you know?
Yeah.
I think that this movie is like, this was very much like an origin story movie. And like, yeah, it's reminiscent of Iron Man, but it's because like they've learned so much. Like, it's
Sure, but I mean, again, it's standard fare to me. Like, I don't think this movie did anything unique. I don't think it did anything great with the action pieces, and I think the character itself is it's not a great action hero character. The politics of it were great, and if you were trying to make a dramatic movie about this nation that we don't know anything about, I think that would be really cool to see. But it's not. But this is a superhero movie.
Yeah,
and the superhero in this movie was not very fun or dynamic or interesting to watch in any way, shape, or form.
I think it was 75% there, and then there was another 25% that they needed to take away from it, which hurt it, I think. But still, I think it was better than Captain America for sure. And I'm having a real hard time thinking about Iron Man 2. Okay, let's do the voting then. So I guess the lowest would be Nick. What's your ranking of it?
I could be convinced to put it maybe above Incredible Hulk. Okay. So I'll put it right between Incredible Hulk and Iron Man.
So you're saying you're 6.
I'll put it as 6.
6. That's where you would put it.
Yeah, because I like Michael B. Jordan. I like the realism of the actual the antagonist.
I feel like discussing this movie on this review made me love the movie more.
Yeah, me too. No, I'm the same way.
I put it at number 3.
So voting then, is it better than Iron Man 3? If you think so, raise your hand. Okay. Is it better than Captain America: The First Avenger? Okay.
Real quick, by the way, not working for audio listeners.
Oh, we're raising it.
It was Nick didn't raise his hand on either of those. Right. Tim, Andy, Kevin, and I all raised our hand for it's better than Iron Man 3. I put my hand down. You 3 say it's better than Captain America.
Yeah. So now, is it better than Iron Man 2? Raise your hand.
I think so.
I'm gonna give it to it.
They all 3 raised their hand again.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yes.
So the yays have it.
Is it better than
you gotta
Iron
keep
Man?
going though.
No, I mean we've come to this decision. It's funny that we kept the voting thing going, but like I think it was clear.
Well, he voted. He said it.
No, but he didn't vote.
I was on the fence.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So final rankings for now. Number 1, Avengers. Number 2, Iron Man. Number 3, Black Panther. Number 4, Iron Man 2. Number 5, Captain America: The First Avenger. Number 6, Iron Man 3. Number 7, The Incredible Hulk. And number 8, Thor. We'll be back not next week, but the week after that on Tuesday, 9 a.m. on youtube.com/kindafunny, where we will be reviewing
your new number 1,
Thor: Dark World.
Jesus Christ.
I'm really not looking forward to this.
Actually, I am looking forward to it.
Because hopefully we'll like it better.
We'll see. I've been surprised so far.
So far, I've enjoyed all of them more than I did the first time. So we'll see.
Dark in this world.
It's the elves, man.
Elves saying
it's hot elves.
Have a marvelous day.
Hey, Tim.
Call me Bucky.
I'm definitely not calling you Bucky.
Please.
Okay, I'll call you Bucky.
Thanks.